Hello Wait. This can't be right. Much better. Hello everyone, my name is Mia and welcome back to Brimful of Books. So if you couldn't tell by the title or my beautiful outfit and these lovely books in the background and this lovely wall here, today we're doing the Dark Academia book tag. So this tag was created by Carolyn and Emma, whose channels I will leave in the description down below because they're great. And yeah, so this is all about Dark Academia. I've just spent a whole week doing a Dark Academia transformation where I basically read as many Dark Academia books as I possibly could. I dressed Dark Academia, I even learned some philosophy and did some art, so yeah. The reading vlog of that will be coming soon, hopefully. It's taken ages to edit, but we're getting there. I'm assuming it should come on Saturday, so tune in for that if you're interested to see that as well. But now, let's do the Dark Academia book tag. So the first question is, what's your favourite academia or dark book or movie? So for books, I'm picking the probably most basic, quintessential Dark Academia book, which is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So I read this last week in my reading vlog that I've now mentioned way too many times, but please watch, thank you. So I read this and I absolutely loved it. It's brilliant. The writing is beautiful, the atmosphere, the characters is so well written, and I just love it so much because I think there's definitely, it feels pretentious, but it's not actually the book that's pretentious, rather it's the characters that just annoy you because you just end up hating every single one of them because they're all horrible people. And I think that's just so brilliantly done, and I loved it so much. So this is my favourite Dark Academia book. Then my favourite movie, I have no idea because I've not actually watched a lot of Dark Academia movies. I did watch Dead Poets Society last week and I did really like it, but it wasn't like my favourite thing in the world. It was too much male schoolboy energy, pretentious teens meeting in a cave reciting poetry. It was a bit much. I don't know how to describe it, but I definitely need to watch more Dark Academia movies. I really want to watch Mona Lisa Smiles because that's what everyone seems to be talking about in relation to Dark Academia, and I really want to watch it. The next question is, what dead poet would you like to have a drink with? I'm not into poetry. I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't really seem to get it in the same way other people seem to. So I don't actually know. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Shakespeare just because it's Shakespeare, like one of the most famous people in the whole world ever. So I'd love to meet him and just get completely drunk with Shakespeare, and I think that would be really fun. The next question is, what's your favourite painting or sculpture? And again, I'm not the biggest art person, but I do, however, really like Van Gogh. Sorry, I had to think about the English pronunciation because I would say Van Gogh as a German, but then that's not true either, is it? Because he's Dutch, so it would be like Van Gogh, I guess. I'm sorry, Dutch people, if you're watching this.
Van Gogh.
Anyway, so I really like him. I really like his paintings, which I guess is a bit of a basic answer, but I just really like it. I guess my favourite ones would be the Cafe Terrace at night, the sunflowers, definitely, and then also the one with the prisoners. I don't know what that one's called, but just the prisoners exercising in that small courtyard, because it just reminds me about how the prison industrial complex should be abolished. So that's a fun one. I like that one. It's a good one. I also really like Monet. My mum really likes him too, and I went to New York last year and saw a couple of his paintings at the Met, and they're just really great. I really like the one with the 4 trees. Is it called the 4 trees? I think it's called the 4 trees. But that one is one of my favourite ones of his, probably. The fourth question is, what's your favourite architectural marvel? I think my gut instinct is to go with Schloss Neuschwanstein in Bavaria, Germany. It is just absolutely beautiful. It's obviously the castle that the Disney castle is based on. So it just seems so magical and beautiful and whimsical, and I love it so much, and I really hope I can go one day, because I have been close to it once. That sounds really weird, but I went on a Scouts trip when I was younger, and we basically were camping really close to Schloss Neuschwanstein, so we could kind of see it on the mountain next to us. So that was really cool, but we never actually went there, like we never actually went up and into the castle, so I'd love to just go there sometime. Question 5 is, what Shakespeare play would you like to be the lead in? And I've only read Romeo and Juliet, Othello, and Midsummer Night's Dream, so it'll probably have to be one of those, because I don't actually know the other ones that well. Like, I kind of know basically what they're about, but not that well. And I think I'd pick Midsummer Night's Dream just because it just seems the most fun to play. I think it just seems amazing. I actually went to a Midsummer Night's Dream play once. It was kind of a modern interpretation of it. So the language was kind of a bit adjusted to be more modern, and the characters were very just like cool. I just really loved it because it wasn't like modern as in, oh, this guy lives in an office now. It was still Shakespeare. It was still the same basic structure of the play and the basic people and everything, the same time period, but sort of the language and the interaction with the audience and everything, that was very modern and just very cool. And I loved that so much. I would love to be part of something like that. But I don't really have any acting skills, so that will never happen. Question 6 is, how many languages do you speak, and which language would you most like to learn? So I speak English, as you can hopefully tell. I hope I'm doing an alright job. But I am German, so I speak English and German fluently, and I think those are the only languages that I'd say I can speak. I did do French in school for an embarrassing number of years, considering I barely know anything. So I'd really love to learn French again properly this time. Because it's such a beautiful language, it sounds beautiful, I want to learn it. I also tried to learn Dutch for a bit, not for very long, because it's very close to German, so I can actually understand bits of when I hear a Dutch person speak. However, I think it's so close to German that it becomes very confusing to learn, like the differences. But I would really love to learn that properly someday. I'd also really love to learn something with like a different writing system than ours. So maybe Hebrew or Japanese. I think they're two of the most interesting ones for me anyway. I'd love to watch anime and actually understand it, so that would be great. Oh, and I'd also really love to learn Polish because my grandma was Polish, and I'd love to learn that. Maybe it's in my blood to know it, and maybe I'll just be naturally good at it. I don't think that'll happen, but maybe we'll find out one day, so I'd love to learn that. Basically, there's just way too many languages that I really want to learn that I just become totally overwhelmed and end up doing none of them, so yeah. But I really hope I can learn some of these at some point. The next question is, what's your favourite quote? I never write down quotes, but I used to when I was younger. Basically, my whole childhood bedroom, not even childhood, like teenage bedroom, was full of posters, and then lots and lots of John Green quotes all over the place, all over. And then I also had lots of Perks of Being a Wallflower quotes, like the one that's like, I'm both happy and sad, and I'm still trying to figure out how that could be. Something like that. My younger self would be disappointed for not being sure what this quote is, but yeah, I really love that one. And then also the Tolstoy quote about unhappy families, I really like that one. My wannabe 15-year-old emo self had a strange obsession with quotes about unhappiness. Let's not analyze that right now. So, what is that quote? I don't actually know it anymore, so let's look it up. So I just tried to find that quote, but instead I found this one, which is, I have lived through much, and now I think I have found what is needed for happiness. A quiet, secluded life in the country, with the possibility of being useful to people to whom it is easy to do good, and who are not accustomed to have it done to them. Then work, which one hopes may be of some use. Then rest, nature, books, music, love for one's neighbour. Such is my idea of happiness. Tolstoy was a cottagecore lesbian. You heard it here first. Confirmed. So the actual quote is, all happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. That's the actual one I wanted to find, and I thought that was great when I was younger. I was trying to think of quotes I really liked recently, and I thought of this book, which I read quite recently, and basically this whole first page, the whole log is just adorable and just the best quotes. A human is just a small sad thing covered in many layers. When you are worried about who you are supposed to be, you never get to learn who you are. This whole book is just full of adorable little quotes, and I love it very much, so read it if you haven't already. The next question is, what fictional character's death is your ideal way to go? And I would say none of them, because I would like to live a very long, happy life and then die in my sleep when I'm really old. Thank you very much. The ninth question is, what university or college would you most like to attend? Well, I am attending a university, but my university is not the kind of cool, aesthetic, old university. It was quite new, so that's sad. So I'd love to go to a really old place. I mean, I've basically spent the last 10 years of my life wanting to be Rory Gilmore, so I'll probably have to say Yale, just because of Gilmore Girls. So I think in general, all these like really old universities with these amazing buildings, I'd love to go to one of these. So Oxford, I'd love to go to Oxford, or Cambridge, or I guess Edinburgh also has really nice buildings. Just a really old, cool university, that would be amazing. The 10th question is, what is your murder weapon or murder method of choice? And I'd really like to say knives, just because of Inej in Six of Crows. I read that recently, and I love Inej so much, and she's great, and I'd love to just kill someone with my little cool knives. However, I think I am a wuss, so I'd probably never actually do that, and I'd probably go for poison instead, so yeah. I feel like if someone suddenly dies around me, they'll play this in court as evidence that I've killed them, so that's great. The next question is, what mythology would you most like to be a part of? And I would say, as the basic bitch that I am, Greek mythology. Honestly, that's the only one I actually really know quite a bit about. And no, not just because of Percy Jackson, okay? I mean, because of Percy Jackson, but psh. I did read Stephen Fry's Mythos recently, and I absolutely loved it. It was so good. It basically just goes over a lot of sort of the old Greek mythology, the first bit, not the heroes bit. I think that's another book. It was great, so I'd love to be a part of that mythology. I think there's also a lot of mythologies that I just don't know anything about, like Japanese mythology or Egyptian mythology, those kinds of things I don't know anything about, so I'd love to find out more about those. So if I was a part of them, then I'd know everything about them and probably would be killed, but you know, still. The next question is, if you had a PhD, what would you choose to do it in? And I'm currently studying psychology, and I'd actually love to do a PhD. It's a lot of work, but I think it sounds really cool. So I'd do it in psychology, probably something clinically relevant, like researching mental health issues, like OCD or depression or psychosis, that kind of thing. I'm really interested in doing that. So hopefully one day, if I get through my bachelor, that's a big if. We'll see. So the last question, it's the 13th question. Which fictional character would you die for? Now, my first thought was none of them, because usually fictional characters are pretty good at staying alive. I think that's basically the whole plot of a lot of fiction. But if I had to pick one, there is one that I love so much. So I can't find my book right now because it's probably somewhere in there, but I can't find it, and I didn't think about that when I set this up. But the book is The Deepest Breath, and the person in the book, the protagonist, is called Stevie, and she's this little 11-year-old girl who has a crush on a girl in her class, and she's just the purest being in the whole world ever, and I love her so much, and I would die for her in an instant. Honestly, like, yeah, I would die for this girl. She's adorable and I love her. So my camera just stopped recording for a bit, but we're back now. I hope the frame isn't too different. And yeah, we're doing the rapid fire round now. The first question is leather-bound or cloth-bound books. I'm going to go with cloth-bound just because I don't really buy leather because it's skin, dead animal, so cloth-bound. Then the second is dog earring pages or highlighting pages. Highlighting pages. Sculptures or paintings. This is really difficult because sculptures are more amazing, like they just look amazing, and I'm so in awe of how people centuries ago could actually make these sculptures, but I think I'm going to go with paintings. Piano or violin? Piano. Films or theatre? Films. Poetry or prose? Obviously prose, we had this. I don't understand poetry. Museums or bookshops? Probably bookshops. Bookshops is the one that I go to more, but I feel like if it was a thing of like you can only go to one of them for the rest of your life, I'd probably pick museums just because they're more special and you can't have that at home, whereas you can just order books online. So yeah, depends on how the question is meant. Smell of books or smell of coffee/tea? Both. Don't at me. Both. Fountain pen or typewriter? Well, I only have a fountain pen, but I think I'd love to have a typewriter, so typewriter. New or used books? New. I usually buy new, but I should buy more used books because they're better for the environment and just nice. I do like having used books because they just have that old book smell. And I should stop talking, this is rapid fire. Oh, that was the last question. Let's just talk about that for ages. So that was the Dark Academia book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. It was definitely quicker than I thought it would be because I feel like in my head I just tend to ramble on, but then I don't think I did that too much. We'll see in the edit. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you all next time. Bye!